Movie summary, Train to Busan, 2016. A truck is approaching a toll booth that is being sanitized by several workers in hazmat suits. The truck driver proceeded through the toll booth and voiced concerns about being delayed. However, the workers reassured him that the area was undergoing sanitation following a minor leak at a nearby nuclear plant. He becomes distracted by his ringing phone and inadvertently strikes a deer. After conducting an inspection of the scene, he returns to his truck and departs. Nevertheless, the doe manages to stand up after the collision and then turns to show signs of infection. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Seok-woo is a busy fund manager who scarcely has time for his daughter, Soo-jung. After a taxing day at work and inadvertently purchasing the same birthday gift for Soo-jung as last year, Soo-jung discloses her wish to visit her mother in Busan. Seok-woo is initially hesitant because of work commitments, but his mother persuades him by showing a video of Soo-jung singing Aloha Oi at a school recital. She stopped singing midway, an event he was unable to attend due to his job. Early in the morning, Seok-woo drives Soo-jung to the station, narrowly avoiding a collision with an approaching group of ambulances and police cars. As Seok-woo contemplates the situation, Soo-jung extends her hand out of the car window and catches an ember, which draws Seok-woo's attention to the burning building in the distance. He observes that something troubling is occurring, yet continues driving to the station. They board the train, which is also occupied by the hard-working husband Sang-hwa and his pregnant wife Song-kyung, a high school baseball team, the wealthy yet self-centered CEO Yeon-suk, a pair of elderly sisters, In-gil and Jong-gil, and a homeless man who appears to be aware of the zombie crisis. As the train is about to depart, a convulsing young woman enters the carriage with a significant bite wound on her leg. Outside the train, the station manager signals the KTX to depart, only to observe a group of individuals atop the station stairs, yelling at something not visible. Soo-jung observes through the window as the manager is swiftly attacked by a frenzied human, an event witnessed only by her. Frightened, Soo-jung rises to go to the bathroom. In the lower-numbered cars, a train attendant encounters the infected woman and attempts to resuscitate her, only for the woman to complete her transformation. The zombie then clamps onto the attendant's neck, prompting him to dash toward the baseball team's car in a state of panic. The two then collapse to the floor, now both transformed into zombies. The two engage in an assault on most of the baseball team, resulting in the creation of a horde of zombies. The zombies rush toward the upper compartments, infecting everyone in their way, while Soo-jung unknowingly proceeds to the lower ones in search of a bathroom. Seok-woo awakens and realizes that Soo-jung is no longer in her seat. He then receives a call from a co-worker, who informs him that violent riots have broken out across Korea. He seizes her, and they are pursued by the horde, but Seok-woo manages to reach his compartment and tries to barricade it, almost locking Sang-hwa and Song-kyung out in the process. The survivors work to barricade the door, only to discover that the zombies lack the knowledge to open it and instead rush towards the sight of humans. Song-kyung utilizes water and newspapers to conceal the windows, effectively misleading the zombies into believing that no one is present. The conductor informs the survivors via intercom that the train will not proceed to Busan but will stop at Daegu station, as he has received confirmation that the military has been deployed there. Yeon-suk contacts his colleagues at the company to inquire about the situation in Daegu, which Seok-woo overhears and infers that all incoming passengers to Daegu will be subjected to mandatory quarantine. He privately contacts a co-worker and persuades him to pick up both him and Soo-jung separately to avoid quarantine. The train subsequently arrives at the deserted Daegu station, and Seok-woo escorts Soo-jung to the east exit for their pickup, while the others head towards the main exit. The homeless man trails Seok-woo after overhearing his phone call. The three proceed down the hallway, spotting a soldier in the distance. Relieved, Seok-woo instructs Soo-jung to remain in place and hurriedly approaches the soldier for assistance, only to find that the soldier is wounded. The soldier implores them for assistance as a swarm of infected soldiers emerges from around the corner, overpowering and devouring him. The remaining survivors exit through the main exit. At the bottom of the escalator, the survivors encounter a significant number of uniformed men and come to the realization that the soldiers are all infected and the deployment has failed. Several passengers are consumed and infected as they rush back up the escalator and into the station. Seok-woo, remaining in the station concourse and confronted by zombies, instructs Soo-jung to flee. She proceeds and encounters Song Kyung and Sang-hwa, who are hurrying back to the train with the group. Song Kyung takes Soo-jung and runs to the platform, while Sang-hwa fights off the horde alongside Seok-woo, Young-guk, and the two other baseball players. Once they successfully secure the exit door, they rush to the train. Young-guk's two friends are assaulted and infected upon arriving at the platform. Meanwhile, Jin-hee, Yeon-suk, and several others have successfully boarded the train. Song Kyung and Soo-jung are also boarding when a glass bridge above the train breaks, causing zombies to plummet onto the platform. One of the zombies falls between In-gil and Jong-gil, creating a separation between them. Jong-gil is forcefully pulled into Jin-hee's compartment while she observes In-gil, Song Kyung, and Soo-jung running in the opposite direction. Song Kyung, Soo-jung, In-gil, and the homeless man secure themselves inside a bathroom in one of the lower infected compartments, while Young-guk, Seok-woo, and Sang-hwa manage to reach a safe compartment. Sang-hwa contacts his wife and discovers that she is trapped in the bathroom with several others. Reluctant to abandon them to their fate, the three of them initiate a struggle through the lower compartments to save them. In the process, they learn that the zombies are blind in darkness and respond solely to sound. They utilize this to their advantage and succeed in rescuing them, after which they all run together toward the first compartment, where Yeon-suk, Jin-hee, Jong-gil, and the manager are located. Young-guk messages Jin-hee that they have saved the survivors and are making their way to her compartment. When she joyfully informs the others, they respond with hostility and choose to lock the door to their compartment to keep the group from entering. With the door locked, Young-guk tries to force it open, while Seok-woo and Sang-hwa fight to prevent the zombies from getting inside on the other side. Realizing the limited time available, Sang-hwa instructs Seok-woo to look after his wife and abandon him to divert the zombies. Seok-woo, in tears, apologizes and releases the door, pulling Soo-jung and Song Kyung toward the barricaded entrance. Before he is consumed, Sang-hwa manages to inform his wife of the name he has selected for their unborn son. The locked door is breached, and the survivors enter the compartment safely. However, In-gil is unable to escape in time and is consumed. Upon realizing that Sang-hwa and In-gil might have survived if the group had not barricaded the door, Seok-woo angrily punches Yeon-suk and demands an explanation for his actions. Reluctant to respond, Yeon-suk deceives the group and asserts that Seok-woo and his companions are infected. Instilling fear in the original group that barricaded the door, they push Seok-woo and the newly joined group, now including Jin-hee, into the hallway between their compartment and the conductor's car. Once they are compelled to leave, Yeon-suk and the others utilize their neckties and shirts to secure the doorknob, preventing them from re-entering. Jong-gil, still in shock and silent from witnessing her sister's needless death, observes In-gil's face among the crowd of zombies at the door window. She informs her infected sister that she has had a long and fulfilling life, and understands that the actions of the compartment group have resulted in her sister's death. In a fit of anger and despair, Jong-gil opens the door, permitting the zombies to pour into the secure compartment. The survivors in the hallway can only observe as the group is consumed within the compartment. They witness the shadows of the passengers frantically scratching at the door they have just barricaded in a cruel twist of fate. As they near a station before Busan, the train is halted by debris on the track. The conductor announces to the remaining survivors on the train via the speaker that he will locate another train on an unblocked track to Busan and that they should follow him. However, he wishes them luck, as they will need to exit the train and navigate the zombie-infested tracks to survive. He leaves his cockpit and finds an unoccupied path, successfully locating a cargo train. He powers it on and proceeds down the track toward Busan, looking for survivors along the way. Seok-woo and the others leave the train, unaware that Yeon-suk has evaded the horde of zombies in the compartment by hiding in the bathroom. He also hears the conductor's announcement and pushes his way out of the compartment, but several zombies continue to pursue him as he departs. Meanwhile, Seok-woo's group is proceeding to the cargo train. Suddenly, a blazing freight car hurtles toward them, causing Jin-hee and Young-guk to become separated from the group when the runaway freight collides with the cars of a nearby train, which then tips over and obstructs their route. They enter one of the subsequent train cars to cross over to the other side through the door, unaware that Yeon-suk, who is being pursued by a zombie, is trailing behind them. Yeon-suk enters the car and pushes Jin-hee behind him, sacrificing her to the zombie. Young-guk defeats the zombie and falls to the ground, holding the convulsing Jin-hee in his arms. Yeon-suk disregards them, successfully forces the door open, and races toward the cargo train. As Jin-hee chokes and starts to turn, Young-guk begins to weep, questioning why fate had to be this way. He expresses his apologies to Jin-hee for not conveying his feelings for her. Yeon-suk runs toward the cargo train but twists his ankle on the tracks, and one of the zombies trailing him successfully bites his ankle. The conductor hastily leaves the car to assist, but Yeon-suk betrays him, pushing him aside to the zombies as he did with Jin-hee. He disregards the conductor's cries for assistance as he boards the train by himself. Meanwhile, the homeless man, Soo-jung, Seok-woo, and Song Kye-young are on the opposite side of the debris, trapped beneath a train filled with zombies. The train's windows are at risk of breaking at any moment. Seok-woo identifies a gap beneath the train and starts to crawl underneath, but a section of the train collapses, blocking the opening before the other three can pass through. The impact further shatters a window, causing a small group of zombies to tumble out and crawl towards the three. However, the homeless man sacrifices himself to the zombies at the last moment, providing Seok-woo with enough time to remove the debris, allowing Song Kye-young and Soo-jung to escape. They run toward the cargo train and board its outdoor platform. Seok-woo approaches the cockpit but retreats upon seeing Yeon-suk in the conductor's seat, his eyes milky and infected. Yeon-suk approaches Seok-woo and pleads with him to take him home to Busan, speaking in a childlike manner and reciting his address and his mother's name. Seok-woo informs him that he is infected, causing Yeon-suk to be briefly shocked and cry, but within moments, he completely transforms. Seok-woo struggles with the zombified Yeon-suk and nearly falls from the ledge of the car. Soo-jung screams from the opposite side of the car platform, drawing the attention of Yeon-suk, who then tries to assault Song Kye-young and Soo-jung. However, Seok-woo intervenes, resulting in a severe bite to his hand. He succeeds in throwing Yeon-suk off the car but observes his injury. Aware that he will soon turn, he seats Soo-jung and Song Kye-young in the cockpit and instructs them on how to use the brakes upon reaching Busan Station. He then attempts to exit the car, but Soo-jung pleads with him to remain. The two share a tearful farewell, and Seok-woo briefly holds Soo-jung's small hands in his, before letting them go and locking himself out of the cockpit. He gradually makes his way to the rear of the train car, battling the infection, and starts reminiscing about when Soo-jung was a baby. Despite being completely zombified, Seok-woo continues to think of Soo-jung and smiles happily at the sky before falling off the car and onto the tracks. The train car has finally reached the tunnel that leads to Busan Station. However, the track is obstructed by debris. The two exit the car and start walking down the tunnel, unaware that they are being observed from the other side by the Busan military. One of the snipers reports their approach to his superior, who instructs him to shoot them down, as it is impossible to distinguish in the dark whether they are infected. Just as the sniper is about to pull the trigger, Soo-jung begins to sorrowfully sing Aloha Oi to motivate the weary Song Kye-young to proceed to the end of the tunnel. Upon hearing her song, the soldiers recognize that they are not infected and hurry to provide assistance.